What up, though, y'all? We got a new update on the timeline. Looks like there was a little confusion and some things just don't make sense. So we're just gonna get straight into that. I'm Mr. T.
What's up, everybody? I'm Power.
Yeah, so you mentioned how the timeline that we got from comicbook.com, this doesn't really seem right just because of how Super started with Kibito and the Kaioshin still being fused, but when we see them in the trailer for DAIMA, they're unfused. So go ahead and break that down for us.
Yeah, hey, what's up? So basically, I was just like thinking about, like the trailer and everything that's we basically been shown in the trailer, and just thinking about where, this is happening, in the timeline, especially off of the video previously that we made where we were discussing it based off of the mentionings on comicbook.com. But I was just, what I was talking to Mr. Tipania about was just that I don't know. I just couldn't, it just didn't sit right with me. So I started thinking a little more and remembered that I went back and watched like the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. And even in the first episode, there's, you can see Kibito, which is basically the fusion of Kibito and Shin. His name's actually KIBITOSHIN, but his English changed and everything. It gets all messed up. But basically, the fusion of Kibito and Shin, the Supreme Kai, they were still basically fused. In the first episode of Dragon Ball Super, when basically like Beerus was waking up out of his sleep. I think it was like 50 years, something like that, and Elder Kai and KIBITOSHIN were like sensing it. Because Beerus was going around destroying planets like at that time, and KIBITOSHIN and Elder Kai were sensing those planets being destroyed. I'm at about 21-24 of episode 1, and you can see him plain and clear that he's unfused. I mean, if you look in the trailer, of course, if you're like us, you've watched the trailers, countless times, or quite a handful of times at least, maybe, and they're separated. So it's like, how is this going to be before the first episode of Dragon Ball Super? Not saying, even though Dragon Ball Super isn't exactly at the end of Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Super is actually probably a little bit before episode maybe 290.
Well, I just remember it kind of like being a point of emphasis when Goku seen them unfused for the first time. So that's why when you brought that up today, that like definitely rang a bell in my head. Like, oh snap, like they definitely were. That was like a moment in Super when that was pointed out.
Right. Yeah. They literally had like a whole scene about it, and everything animated and in the manga.
Yeah, so this is either just going to be like just a plot hole altogether, or it could still be on that same timeline because, again, we didn't even see Boo in the trailer either. And him kind of not being there fits into that timeline because they had to hide him off for a year or whatever.
Definitely. Even Dragon Ball Super, it falls in between, I'd say maybe 288 and 289, or 289 and 290. The reason why I say 288 or 289 is because episode 288 is Your Late Goku Everyone Party. This is from these are the Dragon Ball Z episode titles. So there's 291 episodes in entirety. So at 288, it's Your Late Goku Everyone Party. He's always late. And then episode 289 is Grandpa Goku, I Am Pan, Granddaughter Pan. And so how we saw Pan being born, I don't know if anybody's ever, if you guys remember that episode, but in that episode, that was kind of like Goku's first time seeing Pan. So even that versus what happened in Super, those situations kind of are kind of conflict with each other, being on how Pan was introduced, basically. So why I say maybe 289 and 290 is because if you are going to include, just say Pan, and just even if they keep that episode, the 290 is I am Oob, now 10 years old, the former Majin. And so, that's already 10 years in advance. So that's before Super. That's way before the entry point of Super. So basically the events still happen between those times, but it's not like it precedes the events. That it's not, we're not saying that these Dragon Ball Daima is gonna precede these actual episodes, because just off the fact that how in the middle of Dragon Ball Super, during the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, like Mr. T. Bonilla was saying, they showed they made it a point and everything to show Supreme Kai and Kibito unfused. So it definitely has to be something after that. I mean, unless they're going to change something, they're neither going to change something or it's in a different, timeline, because it's not going to make any sense other than that.
Yeah, I just feel like plot holes are not not a common occurrence, but that would be a kind of a big thing, especially because they do have that emphasis on Supreme Kai being like one of the main dudes for Daima, just based off the trailer and just the early leaks and stuff. So that definitely would be a surprising plot twist, but at the same time, maybe the wish is what separated them, and then who knows when they kind of like reverse the stuff, if they kind of get refused. So I guess that could be so maybe when they make the wish, or they use whatever magic to turn them into kids, maybe that unfuses whoever's fused. But then let's say they reverse that wish, right? Because I'm sure that's what's going to happen at the end of Daima. Everything gets reversed or whatever, so maybe that refuses them.
I don't know that. I don't know.
Well, that's the main thing, we don't know. So it's like all speculation, but I could see them kind of doing something like that to avoid such a big plot hole. Or maybe, who knows, maybe they just forgot.
Yeah, well, with Akira Toriyama so closely involved in the creation of it, which has been confirmed even by himself from the message that he submitted during the New York Comic Con event, he's definitely going to make sure that wherever this lands, it's in, the timeline of the legacy that he's creating. So it's gonna make sense.
Got you. So he's made a point of emphasis that it has to like make sense then.
Yeah. So we just wanted to just come back and at least put that on your guys' minds, that even though that Beerus and, because basically our point is that because we didn't see Beerus and Whis in the trailer, and we didn't see any of the transformations, doesn't necessarily, and what comicbook.com is saying and all those sort of things, doesn't necessarily mean that it's like before Super. It doesn't mean that Diamond could be before Super. But just based on the little facts that we presenting, is just that there could be a possibility that this can be falling after Universe 6 and Universe 7 tournament, based on the fact that that's the point when Goku found out, that they showed in the manga and the anime, that Kibito and Shin were unfused. They showed their separate bodies. Goku was like surprised and asked how did they do it, and Kibito or Shin had told him that they use the Namekian Dragon Balls to separate, and they just wanted to be them separate cells at that point. So, yeah. Regardless of where this time is, it's going to be after the events of Majin Buu. That's for sure. So the question is, where is Majin Buu in all of this? We see Mr. Satan, and I believe we spoke briefly about this in the first episode, but we see Mr. Satan, but we see no Majin Buu, despite him being highlighted in those screens that those two mysterious characters were watching. We haven't seen where Majin Buu is, and not to mention as well as Gohan. So, as well as Tien and Chaozu. Well, we did see Yamcha. Oh no, I think we seen Chaozu. They were with, yeah, we seen Chaozu. But I mean, I'm sorry,
didn't see
not
Chaozu.
Well, yeah, Chaozu. I'm thinking Poor. Yeah. I was for a second. I was thinking Poor, but Poor was there. But yeah, no Chaozu and no Tien, no Gohan, no Majin Buu.
It's Tien. What, was Krillin busy? With your power level? You're no android, you're no Namekian, and you're certainly no Super Saiyan.
Power levels! Super Saiyans! And you!
I feel like since they showed Majin Buu so much on those screens, I feel like he's gotta be in it. So I feel like when we see him for the first time in DAIMA, he's gonna be like waking up from a nap or something like that, and he's gonna realize he's a kid or something. I feel like it's gonna be a really funny moment for sure. Cause I feel like even in Super, like he didn't play like a big character, but it was always like funny or whatever when he was in the picture and stuff. Like when he like missed out on the tournament and stuff, just little dumb stuff like that.
And no Bulma's parents, no Launch, no Android 17, no Farmer with a shotgun.
All right. Not the B-sides. Those are like CD sides.
Did Korn age at all? Where's Dende? Where's Mr. Popo? We don't. There's a lot of, I think, maybe mysteries that's gonna be answered probably with, as we said, Toriyama Sensei.
Yeah, I feel like we'll hear something from him, like some type of bigger announcement within the next few months, because obviously with us alone, this trailer has sparked so many new questions and just crazy interest and wonder into when, where, and how this is going on. Well, all right, sounds good, man. We decided what we're gonna do the first Tail Talk episode on, based on this timeline speculation. Probably gonna go over the episodes leading up or past Boo and before Oob. Try to break that down a little bit to kind of get a little better feel of the current space where Daima's gonna be coming into.
Dragon Ball love, y'all. Love.
Oh my God, that's gonna be what we rolling with. Shout outs. This is all y'all want.